Ah, I feel so lonely. Oh, I wish I had a lover that could hold me. Now I'm crying in my room, so skeptical of love. And still I wanted more, more, more. Ha ha. Anyway, I give a second chance to Cupid. But I digress. These BFDI objects being human is much, 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 much more preferable than nothing. Pow! I forgot to click the button.
You broski spammed my comments asking, so today I'll be drawing Battle for Dream Island objects if they were human. BFDI is an object show where object characters compete in a competition of various challenges to win Dream Island. They all have very unique traits and personalities, so let's draw some objects as humans. First up is my favorite character, Teardrop. She appears as a small blue drop, of course resembling a tear, with stick arms and stick legs like every other object. Her personality is considered rather quiet and shy compared to the others, but overall is kind to her friends and is a good team player with very high energy, though she also has the bad habit of acting without thinking, even in very dangerous situations. Despite this though, Teardrop can be very smart and come up with good strategies. This object also has a very unique trait that really separates her from the rest. The fact that she does not speak at all throughout literally the entire series. We never hear Teardrop say a single word. This has also resulted in her getting picked on by the other contestants for not speaking, like when Flower called her too stupid to speak in episode 1, even though Flower isn't too bright herself. It's a very big mystery whether Teardrop
Okay, I wouldn't have used that word.
Speak in episode 1, even though Flower...
Because literally, Flower is extremely bright. Her only colors are bright yellow and pink. So you should have said, you should have just said she's a dunce, because you called her bright, but in the first definition of the word, she very much is.
Flower isn't too bright herself. It's a very big mystery whether Teardrop is mute by choosing not to speak, or if she literally cannot speak even if she wanted to do so. But there has actually been a couple scenes where it almost seems like Teardrop is talking. An example being this clip. All of the objects are singing together, and Teardrop can also be seen moving her mouth in unison with them. This caused many to believe Teardrop was singing, which would be the first time she has actually spoken words in the entire show. However, it's not confirmed if she really spoke. It's possible her mouth could have just been moving without actually saying anything. Either way, we don't know why this is. It could just be a disability, or she just really doesn't feel like talking. Regardless, Teardrop is a very expressive character and communicates in other ways. However, in the Q&A, one of the creators has stated that if she could speak, Teardrop would have a deeper voice, which is a bit of a surprise because I thought she would be very high-pitched. Teardrop is my favorite character, and I knew right off she was the first one I wanted to draw for this video. While in the show,
you made her
the same size as many other characters. In real life,
you legit drew yourself
the smallest, since she's a literal drop of liquid, so I drew her very short with a small stature, which I also think suits her well, as she has a more childish personality. Her long blue hair is styled with a point at the top to resemble a tear, and in general, I wanted it to look more like water than hair. She's wearing an oversized hoodie to amplify how small she is, and a closed eye with a tear can be seen on her hoodie as a graphic design. Here is human Teardrop.
Hooah! Delicious. And it's still you, but I love it.
Next up on this list of objects is Coiny. Coiny appears as a shiny copper-colored coin with black arms and legs. His personality can be described as quite reckless and hot-headed, often getting into arguments and fights with other characters and frequently causing trouble, especially for those he isn't friends with.
You know he's a dirty
Though he can be rude at times, he still has a kind side to him and cares for his friends. Also acting more so as a leader for the team, guiding them and helping them come up with strategies to overcome challenges. So
he and Pin, that is the best ship in this dang show by far, because those two have literally gone to hell and back for each other.
So despite his recklessness, he still uses his brain when he really needs to.
Literally.
In the seasons of the show, we can see Coiny does have quite a bit of positive character development, slowly but gradually growing kinder and a bit more mature, while still having his classic childish energy and acting a bit crazy. While there are many that he doesn't get along with, Coiny does become best friends with Pin, and they have a very special friendship. We can always see he's supporting her and always making sure that she's okay when she's feeling down, so it's safe to say Coiny is a very good friend. His favorite thing to do is to make dirt cakes, even if no one wants to eat them. Then again, he also drinks gasoline, so I shouldn't be surprised. I wonder what gasoline tastes like now. Do not drink gasoline, since he's one of my favorites.
It tastes like gasoline. I'd assume that it tastes like isopropyl alcohol. Or regular untouched alcohol. They're basically the same thing. And they both do kill you.
Of course, he made it into this video. For Coiny's human design, I went for a casual skater boy type vibe.
Although ethanol will kill you faster.
Well, since he's pretty risky and enjoys challenges. His hair is scruffy and he's also wearing a beanie with a coin pinned onto the side. There's goggles on his head that resemble coins since he's very adventurous. And he's wearing a copper colored hoodie with a light gold undershirt. Of course, I had to draw him holding a dirt cake. Here is human Coiny.
Look at him. He looks satisfied. No, he doesn't.
Now
he
let's
looks
draw
confused.
Flower.
Yeah!
Oh boy. Flower appears as one of the tallest characters, being a flower with a yellow head and 5 pink petals. But don't let her appearance fool you. She's considered one of the rudest and most hostile contestants in the show, constantly seen being aggressive towards everyone around her, especially if she doesn't get her way. It's made.
Nah, bruh. Flower, best character development in the whole show. She was a rude diva, but then she became a professional businesswoman and a very expressive dancer. She still has a bit of a superiority complex, but that only adds to her dominance as a character. So it's pretty appropriate.
Clear that beauty and popularity matter more to her than anything else. Well, besides winning, of course.
Hey.
She cares very much about what others think about her appearance, getting extremely upset when someone doesn't call her beautiful, as seen right from the start in episode 1 when she asks Ice Cube if she's beautiful, and Ice Cube says no. Then Flower kicks them into the 4th dimension, so we can see she is very insecure about her appearance. It's kinda crazy because when you think of a flower, you think of something calm and gentle, but not this flower. She has a long history of being very violent when she doesn't like something, or just being mean because she feels like it. So, unsurprisingly, this leads many, or should I say most contestants, to not like her. But like many characters, throughout the series she does improve, since she wants to gain respect from others, as popularity is very important to her. But later down the road, she actually does become friends with some of the objects, and makes more of an effort to get along with others, learning to be more compassionate. She gains more self-awareness, and learns to be kinder. Of course, she doesn't become the nicest person ever. No, this is Flower we're talking about here. But it's a massive improvement from the start. She learns that her looks and fame aren't the only important thing, but also friendship. Flower will always be kinda stuck up in.
Well, Poppy Playtime is done downloading, so now I have something to do after I finish watching this movie.
A little mean, because it's just a big part of her character, but she became a much better version of herself. And to me, that was so awesome to see. Because Flower cares so much about her beauty, I made sure to capture it well, while still letting her ego shine through. Since her petals are the star of the show, her hair is pink and styled in a very fashionable way. I don't know what to call this hairstyle. She's wearing a summer-themed jumper, with flower patterns, of course, and she's wearing the non-slip shoes from episode 1, because those kind of slap, not gonna lie. I included some jewelry, like bracelets and earrings, because she definitely seems like the type to care about that stuff. And with that, she's done. Here is.
Yes. Yep. This is a girl that I would ruin my entire life just to please. Yep. This right here. Perfect. Beautiful.
Human Flower.
And I'm glad you added some melanin.
Here comes Bubble. She appears
I feel like that's
as a translucent
appropriate.
bubble with a light blue tone and arms and legs. Bubble is always looking out for her friends, showing selflessness and wanting to help others, making her overall a great supportive teammate with good intentions.
You gotta make Bubble thick. No, you gotta make Bubble a little thicker than that, because you can see, we're not talking about this or this, we're talking about this. Yeah, you gotta make Bubble a little bigger than that.
If filled with enough air, which can definitely be helpful. In contrast to many of the other characters we just covered, Bubble is extremely kind, but also more on the sensitive side, both emotionally and physically. Quite literal on the physical part, as since she's a bubble, she's very fragile, making her an easy target for danger. If anything sharp comes her way, or really if anything presses up against her too much, she'll pop. This happens pretty frequently, and other contestants will also pop Bubble by accident, but also sometimes on purpose. Luckily, she always comes back. If she didn't magically revive, she would have died shortly after the show started. It's made pretty clear that Bubble also has many emotional weaknesses, with her feelings being easily hurt by others, as well as her bad habit of overthinking things. I feel her on that one, causing her to blame herself for things that aren't her fault, and feeling extreme guilt. She's always worrying about others, oftentimes putting their feelings before her own, despite her sensitivity. She also has a bad habit of letting others walk all over her, a good example being Match, who repeatedly mistreats Bubble despite being her quote-unquote friend. Thankfully, Bubble does let them know when she's had enough, which shows she is capable of sticking up for herself. In my opinion, Bubble is easily one of the best characters in the series, and I feel many can agree with me, since she's just so likable. I mean, heck, even Fanny clearly likes Bubble, despite how much Fanny finds a reason to hate everything else. I love Fanny. If Bubble has any haters, it's probably 0.1% of the population.
Those people are wrong.
Anyways, I had a lot of fun with Bubble's human design. Of course, you already know I had to give her a bubble hairstyle, literally Literally, don't touch her hair, it might pop. Since Bubble can float, I wanted her outfit to be very flowy and somewhat elegant. So she's wearing a flowy light blue dress with polka dots and puff sleeves, which are also translucent to represent Bubbles. I think she turned out super adorable.
Dang.
Here is human Bubble.
She gave Bubble melanin too. Alright, Bubble, you're higher on the tier list just because of this. Just because of this, specifically. Because I can't tear down a sister. I think she should have been a little thicker, though. Aw, he's so cute. She's
Last
so
but not
cute.
least on this list is 4. 4 appears not as a contestant, but an algebraian, being the host for Battle for BFB, Season 4 of the BFDI series. He appears as a dark blue number 4, with slightly lighter blue arms and legs.
Why
there
are
are
you
several
doing-
algebraians, but today I'll be drawing 4 due to you broskies begging me to draw him. And after seeing how crazy he is, I can definitely see why. Just like every character, 4's appearance changes in style as the show progresses. But he's animated very differently from the rest of the cast, purposely drawn in a different style that really separates him from the rest. At first, he appears quote-unquote poorly drawn, as described by many, but I actually really like this style, as it captures his craziness perfectly. So I'll call it the silly style. Being the host, it's 4's job to keep the contestants in line, helping make sure the competition is organized. Well, that is his job anyway. But I'm not too sure if you could call this competition organized.
Right.
He's a very powerful character who has abilities to basically do whatever he wants, which causes a lot of chaos. Oftentimes, he uses these powers for not so good stuff. For instance, he can screech, stunning contestants, which can sometimes be deadly, mutilate their bodies to where they're unrecognizable, give them fingers, turn into a horse, and a bunch of other things I don't even know how to describe. But this is my favorite part. So needless to say, he's powerful. As the season goes on, it's made clear 4 wants to be in control of everything and everyone, with him literally saying he wants everyone to stay with him forever. If something doesn't go his way, he abuses his powers and has many emotional breakdowns. However, the contestants eventually get fed up with the way he treats them.
Holy crap, you're right. Holy. Yo. Nah, I gotta interrupt you for a second. Thank you for telling me about that. Look at this. This little girl named Clarissa. She drew Bubble. This is about the thickness that I thought Bubble should be. Man. Alright, Bubble. Bubble is A tier now, bruh. Bubble is officially gone up to A tier, specifically because of these drawings. And my thing is about to DIE. Yes! I saved it. I barely saved it, but we're Gucci. Let's go.
Many of them any emotional breakdowns. However, the contestants eventually get fed up with the way he treats them, with many of them deciding to choose a different host over him. This deeply upsets him, with him eventually losing most control over the show. This makes him very insecure, and he isn't able to cope with not being in control, causing him to use his powers to go into isolation within his own mind, away from the real world.
Unfortunate.
I almost forgot to mention, he can become the sun and turn it blue. So, yeah. The contestants eventually confess to him how he made them feel, and after realizing what he's done, he apologizes. But of course, he still continues to be crazy. It's 4 we're talking about. So yeah, 4 is quite the complex character in all the best ways. I know I said Teardrop is my favorite, but honestly, they might be tied. 4 adds so much value and entertainment to the show, and I think he's easily the best thing to happen to this season. I just remember staring at the screen when 4 came along, his wacky mannerisms, the way he speaks. He's a great character. I really found myself rewatching some of my favorite moments several times because they were so funny. But now it's time to focus on Human 4. I'm gonna be honest and say at first I struggled with his design. I really wanted to capture his wackiness properly since he stands out so much from the rest. What I did know is I really wanted his hair to look like the shape of his head, which was kind of hard. But after some experimenting, I ended up with this hairstyle. I also included a loose curly piece of hair to highlight his silliness. As we know, 4 acts very childish and really stands out from the other hosts. So for his clothes, I drew him in a striped blue pajama onesie. I just imagined 2 showing up in a fancy suit to a business meeting, and then 4 shows up in what he slept in. This would happen. And of course, there's a number 4 in the center. He's sticking his tongue out because he's goofy, and I also included band-aids on his face since he's always so reckless and doing crazy stuff. Here is Human 4.
Cute. He's one of those little rowdy anime boys.
Thanks so much for watching. I had so much fun drawing these object characters as humans. So many of you begged me to make a video on this, and I actually ended up really liking the show. Anyways, like if you want to see a part 2, and that just might happen. Okay, bye!
See, Bubble?
I ended up really liking the show. Anyways, like if you want to see...
This is the girl that you want to be with for the rest of your life.
So many of you begged me to make a video on this, and I actually...
And this is the girl who pulls you so deep into the relationship that you don't want to escape. You hate your life so much, but you just can't help yourself from loving it. You just gotta stay there. I don't know. There's just something about it. There's just something about those mean girls. But I digress. Oh, do I digress. Oh, yes. We're about to have some fun. That was a whole lot. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, because we've been at this for almost 3 hours and craziness has ensued. I finally got a stream to work after 17 attempts. Oh my goodness, dude. Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 is starting out on a very wild note. I've learned how to play the game, it seems like. Hopefully I won't die too quickly, but we're gonna see. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. You are loved, you're appreciated, you're gonna do amazing things, so have an amazing weekend and keep loving yourself because you deserve it, okay? Oh, man. Yeah, I'm gonna get one of my friends to try and help me with that because there's no way I can do that on my own. Although I could challenge myself and try. Maybe I'll get somewhere. We'll see. That's all from me. Delta out. Peace. You like that?